Hello everyone again. Sorry for being so clumsy. My name is Milica Vukelic. I'm assistant professor in work and organizational psychology, and I will present you my experience with this ORKG curation grant. My topic of interest was mental health of doctoral researchers, and I have used ORKG as a tool for analyzing the evidence from which I wrote a chapter that I hopefully will be published, and ORKG is cited and presented there. So it was my pleasure to present ORKG to some broader scientific public like that. Why and how I have used the ORKG? As I said, I have used it as a tool for preparing a narrative literature review on the topic of mental health of doctoral researchers. The particular aim was to write a book chapter that will cover some key points that could be useful for all those researchers who want to further explore this topic. For example, keywords, theoretical foundations of this field, methodological approach, possible interventions and ideas for future research and actions. The articles related to doctoral researchers' mental health were first retrieved from the REMO Evidence Hub. This is the Zotero Research Mental Health Library. And then they were firstly gathered and compared and analyzed using the ORKG tool. And I think that this combination of Zotero as, because many researchers use Zotero, is a very good one to connect your library with comparison in ORKG. I said REMO Evidence Hub, and I need to explain this. I have to explain this. REMO is the Researcher Mental Health Observatory, and it is a cost action that has gathered a broad group of researchers, practitioners, and other stakeholders from over 50 countries in order to understand and gather the evidence how researchers' mental health and well-being can be improved, but in general. My topic was about PhD mental health specifically. For writing of each section of the chapter, I have used one comparison. I have tried to map some key points in that chapter that could be useful for all those researchers who want to explore the topic of doctoral researcher mental health. So I have started from some rather technical features of articles that cover doctoral research mental health, for example, keywords, relevant journals, and then I was going through the theoretical foundations, methodological approach, and possible interventions. During the literature review, it was evident that there are some gaps, particularly regarding methodological approach that needs to be systematically depicted and compared. And in my best comparison, I was analyzing what are the characteristics of PhD student samples used in quantitative international studies. I'm very afraid now to leave my presentation and show you my comparison because I'm not skillful with Skype. I will finish presentation and then I will show you my comparison. Within this comparison, I have some very useful conclusions regarding the characteristic of the sample. And these insights were very prolific and productive for the ideas for writing this chapter and further recommendations for future research. Conclusion from this best comparison is actually that samples come from the Western world, and the participants who took part in these studies are usually members of the majority population in those countries. Samples are usually convenient, and women are often either equally represented or in the majority. Also, doctoral researchers that make these samples are commonly somewhere at the beginning of their PhD journey, usually in the first 2 years of study. And a brief look at listed keywords in the articles indicates the diversity of theoretical approaches. Also, it indicates that keywords were not sufficiently aligned, which is problematic in analyzing, in further studying of this field. So my positive experiences were that the ORKG is a really great tool for preparing literature review. The comparisons are always available, easy to make, easy to offer as some additional resources within article. They are very inspiring, because once when you make your comparison, you can have many ideas from this comparison, especially if you write some narrative literature review, as it was in my case. What were the obstacles? The obstacles were the fact that it could be really challenging to make comparison with a new, undefined, scattered, and insufficiently framed field of study that use different methodological approaches. Within this field of doctoral research, mental health, there is lots of articles that are qualitative opinion articles. Methodology is there are some articles that use quantitative methodology, but these questionnaires are different, and you can't compare the values that you find there. So you need to have really straightforward idea when you want to compare such delicate field. But it's not about ORKG, it's about the field which is quite, as I said, undefined, scattered, and insufficiently framed. But nevertheless, ORKG really helped me to finish the article and the chapter, and hopefully it will be published. And it was quite helpful for me to use ORKG as a tool for writing the chapter. As I said, for each part of the chapter, I have used one comparison, which was really great. I'm sorry, can you hear me or see me now?
Yes.
Okay, I presume that you now can see my comparison here.
Right.
This is sample structure of quantitative studies on the PhD students' mental health. And the aim of this comparison was to analyze what are the characteristics of PhD student sample used in quantitative international studies. And the articles were taken from Remo Zotero Library. And as you can see, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, it works.
Okay. So I took some different features that I could, let's say, compare, like country, research design, sample characteristics, sample size, type of the sample, variables. And for me, it was really, as I said, inspirational to for writing a chapter which was, I think that could be really helpful for those people who want to further research this field. And thank you all, and thank you ORKG team for giving me this opportunity to be part of this project.